Do the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. A moment of silence, please, for all our brave men and women fighting all over the world for democracy and freedom. Also for all our first responders, our doctors, and our nurses.
To the flag. United States of America.
I need a motion to
For which
approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
indivisible
Need a second?
with liberty.
Second to approve the agenda, gentlemen?
Yes, I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Motion to approve minutes from the December 14th, 2020 Town Board meeting. I need a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second,
Need a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you, gentlemen. Motion to approve minutes from the 2021 reorganization meeting.
I'll make the motion to approve the reorg meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I need a second.
I'll second it
Okay, Ed, thank you.
right here.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Al,
Thank you, gentlemen.
I
Authorized-
second it.
Excuse me?
Aye.
You're on delay, Ed.
So I need on item 5, authorized payment of bills. We have actually 3 on the docket. We
I'll
paid,
make that motion.
hold on a second, Ed. I'm almost there.
Make that motion.
Number 1, we paid in December
I guess you
$682.16.
guys can't hear me. Aye.
Okay. Number 2, we in 2020, we paid bills in the amount of, in 2021, for 2020, in the amount of
I'll second it.
$50,336.
I'll second it. Can
And
you hear me this time?
hold on, Ed, I'm not finished yet.
Aye.
Hold on 1 second. We got,
Ed, you're on delay, Ed. You're on delay.
You might
2021.
better log back in, Ed.
Yeah. Hey, could you hear that? Could you log back in?
I'm on the left. How do I get?
There you go.
Yeah. So in 2021, we paid $528,088.15, a total of $1,260,697.67. I need a motion to pay the bills, gentlemen.
I'll
Should we
make that
wait
motion.
for Ed? Should we wait for Ed? He's so anxious to pay the bills, so.
I'll make that motion now.
Okay.
I'll second it since Ed's not here yet.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll pay the bills. So our presentation-
Before you go on out, there's
Yeah.
Daryl Dryer that wants to come in. Do you guys know Daryl Dryer?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that okay?
He's an attorney from Newburgh, local resident. I'm familiar with Daryl.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
So right now, we were talking about the court special prosecutor. As you know, we got a memo from Judge Jackson and Judge Fraser talking about the court is shut down once again, and to avoid a backlog, we might consider hiring a special prosecutor for such as Dan Rusk for $175 an hour. So there was some email talk with the, hey, Dan, how you doing?
How are you, Al? Nice to see you. Good to see everybody.
Hey,
So
Dan.
there was some discussion and the board had some questions. So basically, I think the real gist of it is the amount of money, the $175 an hour is justified. And is there a backlog or, so Judge Jackson, you're one of the judges that sent the memo to the board. Could you explain exactly what you're looking for?
Well, just as a backup there, as you said, Al, we did get a memo essentially from Albany that said we had to shut down most in-person proceedings, specifically the traffic calendar. And they suggested that we implement a mail-in system, not required, but suggested. And many towns do that. Even before COVID, town of Newburgh has done it for years. And that's probably because they're a higher volume court than us. We've never had the need to do it. We'd never explored that option the first go around with COVID because we didn't know how long it was going to last. You know, it started in March and we thought maybe April, maybe May. It ended up being August. And perhaps if we had known that from the beginning, we may have gone down this road. And I don't know if we may be in that same situation now, and we don't have an endpoint as to when we'll be back in person with the traffic calendar. So I believe Judge Krasia and I, or specifically Judge Krasia, reached out to Dan Rusk to explore this option. And fortunately, he already has a plan in place that he's tested and implemented in Plattekill. I don't know specifically how he does it. I know it's through email, and it could be a good option for the court to keep the cases moving. I can tell you probably pre-COVID, my guess is my calendars were somewhere between 75 and 100 cases, I'm thinking. Post-COVID, we started off real small and we've tried to cap them at about 50. And that's just because of the logistics of having people outside and only having a few people in court. I think prior to our last calendar in early December, we were starting to schedule into February already to give you some idea of how far out we are. I'm not going to take any position as to what you and Mr. Russ may come to as an agreement as to what a fair price is for that. I don't think that's my position ethically to get involved in that, but I'm happy to answer any other questions you may have.
So Scott, you had some questions that you would like to ask,
Yeah.
either Dan or,
I guess I would ask Dan this question since he, Rusk, because he's done it in Plattekill, right, Danny?
I have, yes.
I guess my question is how many hours, like say a week, do you accumulate to do these cases, and how many cases have you been doing?
So the way it works is the town of Plattekill sends notices out to defendants who received a ticket and sent in their not guilty plea. And the notice includes my email and suggests that if they would prefer to handle it by mail without having to appear in court, that we would entertain it and to send me a notice. So I kind of accumulate those responses as they come in. When I get to about 20 or 25, I send email a list to the court. The court compiles that, defendants, driver's records, the tickets, and emails them to me. I review them and email an offer to the defendants. We've probably handled, I'm guessing, somewhere between 300 and 400 cases that way.
Okay.
I don't know what how much I've billed them for. I could report that to you easily enough. I don't know offhand as I speak to you tonight. But normally what I do is I block an hour or two to address those, and I probably get through about 25 in an hour and a half.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my question, I guess, originally was, and that was, thanks for all that. I just want to make sure that what we're paying to prosecute these tickets doesn't over charge what we're actually getting back in revenue, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like if we're not paying three, because right now, currently, we're paying 3 officers to go to court. If we're not paying the 3 officers and we're paying you that rate, I think we're okay. But I just wanted to get some kind of understanding of basically what you just stated, the hours and kind of how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want our court, like both our judges sent us the note. We don't want them to obviously have like 5 months of backup in their court, because like we don't know when they're going to actually allow the courts to reopen. That's the thing right now. So
Yeah.
it could be next week. They could say, okay, you're good to go. But in the meantime, I think this is a good idea. I just was nervous about the cost. But the more I thought about it, without having to pay the 2 officers, I think we might be in 3 officers actually
3
this
officers.
time. We might actually be in okay shape with this.
Yeah, and I think you'll see, Scott, and like I said, I can get you more definite numbers, but I think you'll see it probably is cheaper than
Yeah.
having the full court staff there. And it's not something that has to end when COVID ends. I think a lot of, as this whole pandemic has taught all of us to use technology, here we are having a town board meeting by Zoom.
Yep.
That a lot of motorists would prefer to do it that way. They don't have to take time off from work. They don't have to, find childcare, and they can do it through a couple emails. It works out easily for them. So the more you can kind of streamline the process, you'll be able to keep our tickets moving without.
Yeah, I agree. Now, have you, since you've been part of it up there, do you know what the percentage of the cases that have been utilizing this technology, like since they were closed, are people, they don't have to mail it in. They could just say, well, just wait 5 months until you bring me into court. You know what the percentage of people are actually responding back and saying, yeah, I'll do it this way? Any idea?
No, I would have to get that. I don't know how many notices go out compared to how many people reach out to me.
Okay, yeah.
So you would have to talk to the clerks to find out what that percentage might be.
Okay.
So
thank you.
Dan, could you,
I have a question now
either
too.
the
when you
Judge
finish.
Jackson or Dan, could you actually explain the process step by step, how it would be conducted through email?
So the way we do it in Plattekill is a defendant gets issued a ticket by a trooper or a local agency with a return date, and they have to respond and mail in their plea of either guilty or not guilty. When the court gets that not guilty plea, they send a notice to them saying, in lieu of an appearance, you can handle this by mail or email. And if you choose to do that, here's the contact information for our special prosecutor.
Okay.
So that defendant would either send me a notice and an email that says, I wish to handle this by mail. As I mentioned before, I don't do one as they come in. I kind of let them compile till I have a number that is going to be worth putting time into. Send a list of those names to the court clerk, who then, the way they would set up a regular calendar, when we have a regular in-person calendar, the clerks assemble the defendant's ticket. They produce their driver's record for my consideration. And that's what I review when I meet with the person. They send that to me. I review that information and respond to the defendant with a scanned emailed version of a plea memorandum, which I have signed and which sets forth my offer. If they choose to accept it, they sign it, email it back to me, and then I forward that email to the clerk to process it, to be approved by the judge, and then a fine notice goes out.
Well, thank you for that explanation. I did talk to this supervisor of Plattekill, and he seemed to indicate that everything was going well with you being involved with this whole process. So he was happy the way things were going. But I just wanted to make clarification for for the town board to make sure they were on board. I think it sounds like when I first initially looked at it, it seemed reasonable to me, but I just want a clarification from everybody. So this way the board would be on board, not.
Danny, Jackson, I guess, Danny, how many do we have in backlog right now? Have we not been doing this since March?
No, we started up again with traffic court in August.
Okay,
So we've been meeting regularly since then.
okay,
In our initial first month or so, we started very, very low, 20, 25 cases, because we were working out the logistics of having the courtroom socially distanced and all the other health precautions.
Mhm.
And with each month, we tended to ramp that up. We were somewhere around 50 a session
Mhm.
as we were coming to the latest pause.
And
And
when did we,
typically, we would normally be about, I wouldn't necessarily call it a backlog, but just in the ebb and flow of cases coming in and then being set for calendar. I think we were just getting ready to schedule for the first week of February after our last appearance at the beginning of December, and that's keeping it at 50. If it was pre-COVID times, it'd probably be half of that.
but we suspended traffic court again, right?
Yes, as of December 9th, we could no longer do it in person. And that's when the state suggested try to implement, if you can, a mail-in system. So
Are we required by law to process these, or could we say we don't want to do these?
we do not have to do it by mail if we don't want to.
Do we have to do it at all, I guess is the question.
Do we have to do what at all?
This process of
No, it's recommended.
the traffic
it was-
tickets. Do we
It
have?
was suggested by the state
Mhm.
to implement it if you wanted to keep your calendars moving. There are some towns, town of Newburgh, town of Wallkill, that are so huge, they could not afford to go 5 or 6 months without processing traffic tickets.
Right,
For example, during the last pause, I have a case in private practice in the town of Woodbury, which is already a slow court. So by the time they resumed this summer, I got a traffic date for next August. So it took over a year to get that scheduled.
right.
Wow.
My
We're not as big
question
as
was,
them, but
Danny,
that's
do
an
we have to-
example.
Do we have to process these at all? Or could we just say, we are not going to process these traffic tickets in our court and just throw them out, basically?
Why would we do that?
Well, I don't know why you would do that.
Why would we do that?
Only do that if we thought it was something that's going to cost us money rather than be a revenue.
Well,
I don't think we're
Mr.
gonna do
Baker,
anything close.
I'm not
that's
suggesting we
not-
do it. I'm just asking, that's all.
I do not think that is
Right, not
the
legal.
way that the system should be handled.
Right.
The
That's
police
what I-
officers are enforcing our traffic laws, and it's the court's duty to dispose of them.
That's what I was getting at. So that's what I would assume the answer would be. That's what I was getting at. So thank you. So the
I mean, I think-
backlog is from March and August, and then what's built up since December 9th going forward. That's the backlog roughly, and it's something like 75 to 100 cases a month, you're saying?
It's probably fair. I mean, I don't have a firm number of how many tickets have come in the last month. And again, the part of the problem is you don't know when it's going to end. If you knew firmly we'd be back in February or we'd be back in March, you might have a different opinion as to whether you want to implement this. And again, I'm not going to comment on what's a fair cost, but I mean, I don't find it unreasonable at all.
No, I don't either. The other thing is, if people don't have email, it would just be done via snail mail, regular mail, right? So they could. Is that the way you handle it in Plattekill, Danny? If they
Yes,
don't-
there are some people that handle it by snail mail, yes. And we would go through that same procedure, albeit a bit more.
And Mr. Baker, my rule is going to be exactly what it would be as if the person appeared in court, or if they just sent their ticket in with a guilty plea. It ends up on my desk, and I have to impose the fine or whatever penalty is appropriate. So my role is the same.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
I think if you have a system to implement this, it makes total sense to me. If I, like Danny Russ said, if I was someone that had a ticket, I'd rather do it this way than have to come into court and waste my night and sit there maybe for an hour or two or whatever. I'd rather just do it through the mail or email. But as long as we're not in session, I think it's a good idea because again, we're not paying 3 officers at this point. So
Right.
the cost to me, we're probably going to be better off anyway. We're probably going to be ahead of the game. So
We haven't been paying the prosecutors pay also, right? If we're not holding court,
That's
we're
correct.
not doing it by mail. We're not
Correct.
paying them. So we've been saving some as well, right?
Yeah.
If the process works well, I mean, maybe the board would consider going this way. It seems like
I would be good with
just
it.
like we're getting used to this Zoom where we don't have to get in our cars on a cold winter day and go to a meeting. We're sitting on our house, and when we're done here, we could just go into our living room and watch a basketball game or something like that. So I mean, the convenience of it all might be justifiable. I don't know, or we might have to look at it after if the board decides to go along these same lines of hiring Mr. Russ to do this for us. Same-
Yeah, and, you tell me you want me to cap it at so many hours a month or something, I can do that too. I'm not gonna, I'm not looking to surprise anybody with it.
Right.
With the bill that,
Danny, I have a question for you. Danny,
yep.
is your other prosecutor going to be doing the same thing with the other judge? Is that the way it's going to work?
Dan is actually Judge Crazier's special
Oh.
prosecutor. Bruce Dunn Jr.
Okay.
is my special prosecutor, and I think he's on board and agreeable to the same proposal.
Okay. All right. I'm willing to give it a try. I mean,
Okay.
sounds good to me.
So why don't we discuss it amongst the board and take Mr. Russ' suggestion of maybe capping it at a certain amount of hours and move forward. I know Judge Jackson, when we talked to the clerks, they seem to, myself and the chief the other day, they seem to have a little backlog going, right, chief? They
Yeah,
were
I think
saying at
they
least
said,
300.
I thought they said in total anywhere between 800 and 1,000 as we stand right now.
I don't know.
There's been no calendars from March to August, and then the court did their diligence based on the COVID rules from August to December the 9th.
Right.
And so she thought somewhere around 800 was the number. Whether that's accurate or not, she didn't physically count, but she gave a good off-the-shoulder guess for us.
So,
that's good.
Dan Jackson, Judge Jackson, have all notices been sent out for court dates yet? Or you're holding back on those right now? You're holding
Well,
back on?
anything that was scheduled, our notices were sent out to say, you're currently not holding court. You'll be notified in the future of
Okay.
a pre-trial conference date.
So of ones that were sent out and say they had court dates that got canceled. So I guess what I'm saying is anybody that got canceled from that point on would get a renotice that
Yes.
this is an
Yeah.
option now?
Anybody right now, we're told court's canceled. We'll let you know when it's rescheduled. And then if you implement this policy, I imagine all those people again would be offered this opportunity to negotiate this way.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you very much. Any other questions, Howard?
Thank you, guys.
No,
Thank you
thanks,
for your
guys, for
time,
explaining all that.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Jackson,
If you need to talk to me, most of you know where to reach me. So
Yep.
have a good evening.
thank you.
Thanks, you
Thank you.
too.
Thank you,
Night.
Mr. Rusk.
Night.
Appreciate it. Appreciate your time.
No problem.
So we'll continue the dialogue and we'll talk maybe further, see how many hours or the town board would like to suggest as a cap, maybe. It seems reasonable to me. Karen, you'd like to address the board?
Yes, hi, I'm Karen. The reason that I'm on the agenda isn't because of, to thank you for the bathroom again, although I definitely thank you for the. We wanted to have a chance to surprise Supervisor Lanzetta, and a lot of us got together. And one of the ways to get on the agenda was to put that on there, but it's nothing to do with the bathroom. This past holiday season, we noticed that there was a picture of the Milton landing done by our town unofficial, but she should be our official photographer, Vivian Lanzarone from Seeds Boutique in Milton. And it got a lot of people to thinking about how much hard work over the years you as a team with people in Marlborough have done for us with the Milton landing. And we know that over the years, you've been very, very diligent. And it's getting ready, although it's absolutely a wonderful place now between the train station and the park that we have down there, that you've worked even harder, again, as a team, with people in town to move forward even some more with the new dock. And we really couldn't thank you enough. There isn't anything that we could say or do to thank you and the team of people that you've assembled. So we wanted to thank you with just a token of our appreciation. So many people, and we had to do this in secret, so we couldn't, put this out on Facebook. We really wanted to surprise you because you deserve this and so much more. But so many people came out and donated that we were able to buy this picture for you from, again, Seeds Boutique Milton, but also to get together a donation for the Milton Landing on behalf and your name. And their donations are still coming in. So if anybody, now that we've announced it, still wants to donate on your behalf, they can send a donation to Milton Landing and PO Box 103 in Milton, and they'll be happy to take it. But we've made a donation, and we hope that you can enjoy this little token of the way things were at the Milton Landing, and won't be again because of all your hard work, but the beauty that it was. And we look forward to everything that you do. And I know that you inspire people to work together. It's nothing political for you. It's all about helping our town move forward, and same with the rest of the town board and anybody involved in any of these projects. They put politics aside and they get the work done, and you're a huge part of that. So we want to take some time to thank you. And the sayings that makes me think of you is they say if you want to go fast quickly, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And you've proven to us that by us all going together in this town, that we can go far. So thank you so much, Al, for everything you've done. And thank you to all the people that help you do what you do. We hope that you enjoy what your daughter has for you here. And we thank you again. So everybody, if you just.
Yeah, let me open it. This is a surprise. Thank you very much. Hello.
Good job, Karen.
Wow.
I don't know. Let me see if I.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
This will go in the office for everybody. You see that?
Awesome. So thank you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you, my daughters,
Yeah,
my son.
it was Karen.
And thank you, Karen. Thank you, everybody who was associated with this. Big surprise, not about the porta potties.
No, seriously, thank you
That's
again.
unbelievable. Thank you very much. I really, like you said, in my report that they, for the town, the state of the town. It's like you said, it's so many people that are involved, and so many people do such great work in this community. It's unbelievable. And we do it together. And especially during this COVID thing, we really, as it would be suggested, talked about in my state of the town, it's unbelievable how people have just gotten together and watch out for each other and just to take care of each other. And that's, you know, that's due to, you know, uh, just the great work that this board does and the people in the town and all the employees and the highway department, police department, water department, building department, assessors department. I mean, everybody. And they just a great bunch of people to work for and work with. And I'm honored to have that painting. Thank you very much for thinking about me. I'm really choked up. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Karen, and everybody who was involved in this surprise. Thank you very much. Ah, what a big surprise. Now I got to find out a place to put it in the office. Did you guys know about this?
Oh, yeah, no idea.
Either did I. And I was wondering why my children were on, but now I know. So, and luckily a couple of the daughters just live next door, so they don't have to drive far either. So, but that was a great surprise. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, everybody. So I move right along to my Town of Marlborough State of the Town Address in 2021. It's quite lengthy, but I think it needs to be addressed and let the people know in the Town of Marlborough how much work we actually did, even during this COVID. So before I begin this address, I would like to state that saying 2020 was a challenge is an understatement. The year began with the coronavirus pandemic, something none of us was prepared for. New York State was locked down, business closed, and people were told to stay in their homes. In spite of the fear and confusion, town employees were willing to adapt and change in order to still meet the needs of our community. Volunteers stepped forward, including Town Councilman Ed Malinelli, to work with the county Project Resilience, a program to pay local restaurants to provide cooked meals for our homebound population. Marlborough Strong became the hashtag that showed that we can do when we all pull together. For all of that, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful too for the list of accomplishments that this town board has worked together to achieve in spite of the challenge of COVID. In order to keep down taxes, we continue our work to make Marlborough business friendly. A major improvement was the 9W paving project. Thanks to work done by community planning, we were able to improve the gateway to Marlborough, install new sidewalks, and get a flashing lighted crosswalk for the Marlborough Hamlet. Because of the completion of the phase 2 low pressure sewer line, Chestnut Petroleum opened their long awaited gas station, mini market, and show how smart public-private corporations can result in positive development. We are also able to enter into a lease agreement to install a solar voltaic system at the town landfill. Not only does that increase opportunities for clean energy, but it will offer taxpayer relief. We updated our town codes and institute design guidelines to encourage safer and better development. And thanks to the work of Councilman Baker and community members, 6 years of working toward the adoption of a local waterfront development plan became a reality. This state designation will help us direct new business into the town and provide additional funds for economic development. Work began on the combined New York State CFA-funded town project to rehabilitate the southern pier at the Milton Landing Park. This will allow Milton to become a destination for Hudson River tourism and recreation. It is amazing how many infrastructure improvements were accomplished. Besides the improvements to the 9W corridor, the surveying work was completed to identifying the right-of-way along Western Avenue to the Marlborough High School. We made town capital improvements, including upgrading servers and computers to ensure capability and safety to viruses. We repaired the roof on the Milton Sewer Plant and installed a fire alarm in our highway building. Our highway department worked with a private contractor to improve the road base into Chance Park. And our water department worked with the highway to install a water line to the town dog park in Milton. The cooperation between all the different departments of the town of Marlborough is one of the key factors in being able to get work done efficiently. Special thanks for their willingness to go above and beyond. 2020 was the year that so many people stepped up and brought honor to this community. The town was able to partner with many volunteer organizations to do good. We were able to honor our veterans, including a special William Partington Community Day celebration. We honored the work of Glenn Clark for spearheading the rehabilitation of the Milton train station with a commemorative plaque on the building. We hosted a ceremony to honor the heroism of our police and highway department for their quick action in a fuel truck rollover on Route 9W, where they received the New York State Liberty Medal. We were able to complete all volunteer build inclusive playground at Chance Park. We supported the Marlborough Milton Lions Club as they made and delivered food to our seniors for the annual summer picnic and Thanksgiving. Town departments worked with the Girl Scouts to improve Milton Dog Park. Members of the volunteer Marlborough Nature Trail Committee, Town Department, Tilcon Industry worked together to give the hamlet of Marlborough its first public trail access to the Hudson River. Members of the community have joined the town committee to work with our police department to discuss reform issues. The police department reached out to the community to collect and distribute Christmas gifts for those in need. Our highway department spearheaded a community drive-by parade for Memorial Day and drive-by trick-or-treat at Chance Park. And in the beginning of the pandemic, our police, highway, and fire departments brought smiles to the faces of many children by having birthday parades. We continue to work with the Marlborough School District, our libraries, Meet Me in Marlborough, Milton Landing, the Milton Train Station Incorporated, the Hamlet of Milton Association, and many other civic and athletic organizations and nonprofits to improve the quality of life for our citizens. As we move into the new year, we are pleased to note that we have finished negotiations and secured new 5-year contracts for our police and dispatch, highway, and water department. Even with additional pressures and reduced revenues, we're able to complete a budget that still comes under the 2% threshold established by the state. With the beginning of the vaccination, we can hope that we can slowly resume a more normal routine. Some of the projects we will look at and move forward for 2020 are completion of the Milton Train Station Park, grading and landscaping of the Sands Avenue portion of the Milton Landing Park, completion of the South Pier restoration of Milton Landing, improvements and safe gated crossing at the Dock Road Railroad crossing funded by the state and CSX, rehabilitation, the old Tomback building into the new Scartatus Community and Recreation Center, a dechlorination system for the Milton Sewer District, new sidewalks for the Milton Main Street, a historical cultural resource survey funded by a state grant, expanded shoulders along Western and Plattekill Avenue from the hamlet of Marlborough to the high school. Because we are always looking to alleviate the burden on our taxpayers, most, if not all, our projects are funded with the help of grant monies we reclaim for our community. This past year has tested our mettle. We have learned many lessons and found where we are strong and where we need to focus more work. Through it all, I have been most impressed with people's kindness and willingness to change, especially when it means helping others. I have also learned that if we all work together, we can accomplish much. My thanks again to my fellow town board members, our amazing staff, our hardworking departments, and all our fellow elected officials for keeping the town of Marlborough safe and prosperous. Thank you very much. Moving right along. That was quite a lengthy thing there. All weekend. In between Agita with the Bills game. Anyhow, Inspector Thomas Corcoran.
All right, the building inspector's building department monthly report ending December 2020. Certificate of occupancy 6, request for information 22, building extensions 5, fire inspections 12, fire calls 1, order to remedy 11, complaints 28, burn permits issued 15. Building permits, addition renovations 5, burn permits 15, electrical 1, furnaces 1, roofs 1, single family homes 4, solar panels 3, tank installation and removals 2. Total permits 32 for an estimated cost of building of $1,140,865. Monthly revenues, certificate of occupancy 750, permit extensions 1023, building permits $7,687, request for information 2,200, fire inspection 795, burn permits $65 for a total income December 2020 of $12,520.50. Total gas usage 89 gallons, total miles 1266.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Do you have an update for putting on your other hat for the legislator back to the vaccine in the county? How that's
As of today, Ulster County's number is 7504, 2015 active. Deaths from year to date is 165, 5,324 were recovered. Locally in Marlborough, the total number was 445. We've got 93 active, 348 recovered, and 4 deaths.
Any idea about vaccination for our seniors or?
I haven't gotten the vaccination numbers. Obviously, just recently he went to a 1B that's going to expand the vaccination process. Today, we opened the site in Kingston at Kingston High School. Start the vaccination. I know some of our firefighters were up there today getting vaccinations. So that'll be 7 days a week in Kingston, and in Ellenville, they'll be running 5 days a week, starting vaccinations up there. Again, everybody in phase 1 and phase 1B that the governor's now enacted.
Any talk about having something coming closer to the southern end?
Listen, we obviously have the capabilities in the state. The governor has to really free it up to get it into local pharmacies, the CVSs, which we have one here. Okay. It's just, so that would be our, ideally that would be our site once he lets it get to the CVSs, the Walgreens, and all the pharmacies. So as of today, is there anything in place through Ulster County, through us? No. It's, again, we've opened that site in Kingston 7 days a week, the Ellenville site 5. I'm hoping that it'll expand as we get more and into into the other phases, that hopefully that potential site might just be our CVS where people go and get their flu shot.
Thank you, Tom.
Hey, Tom, I have questions back in your town job. You told us last time there were how many new homes in 2020? Like 40 or so?
Total?
Yeah, built Around, was that the,
Somewhere in that range, I say with 30 to 40.
yeah, and you would project we'll have the same amount in this coming year?
Next year, I anticipate more actually, but I would say that number or more.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if that, again, and all I have to go back is to the 9/11 scenario where that, during 9/11 that year, it bumped up pretty heavily towards the end of the year. And the following year, we went from 28 permits to 128 in the
Right.
following year, and then 125 the year after that. Are we going to see that number? I don't know. Do I expect increased numbers? Yes. Is our inventory down? Yes. Are my realtors telling me that they're selling it as quick as it goes on the market? Yes.
Right.
Are subdivisions that have been sitting for 10, 12 years active again? Yes.
Yep.
The Ridge Road one is pretty much almost sold out. The Troncalli subdivision, I've had conversations with the engineers, realtors, and owners over the last week or two. That subdivision's coming back.
Yep.
And I'm assuming that the planning board see an active subdivision applications also because they're coming through me. So there'll be active subdivision applicants coming through also.
Do we know how many subdivisions that have been approved, what the backlog might be there in terms of what subdivisions that were approved but never built on? Do we have a feel for that?
I wouldn't know that. Planning board would have that number. Again, like I said, it was 15 lots on Ridge Road. Troncalli has whatever he has up there, 25 or so up there that are just coming back.
Yeah.
Tyler Terrace has a handful up there that was done off of Bingham Road. Well, those are ones off the top of my head, but planning board would have a better idea of that than I.
They have Quaker
When you
Hill, too.
count the numbers, are you counting when the building permit is issued, or are you counting when the certificate of occupancy is issued?
Say that one more time. I froze up.
The count, is it a building permit issued or the certificate of occupancy is issued?
The count on my report today is a building permit issued.
Yeah, okay. When you say 40 or so, you mean building permit issued for new houses, right?
That's correct.
One other question, and this is even more specific. Our family house on Western Avenue near the Highland Avenue intersection.
Yes.
What's going on there? Are they
Renovation.
Yeah,
okay? So for a while that was frozen. Is that right?
I put a stop work order because they started working there without a building permit. That's correct.
Okay. Did he have problems with his foundation or something, or?
That's what they started working on. The engineer had no problem with the foundation. They were just parging it and water sealing it because it was an older foundation that just didn't have any parging or water sealing.
Mhm.
So again, he went in there without a building permit, started that. The engineer came in, certified it. I looked at it. They covered it back up. And they've continued now with an open working building permit.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
he's froze. Unfroze? We were froze there for a second.
Yeah,
You
Cold out.
you good, Howard?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Chief?
Good evening, everybody. Activity summary for the month of December 2020. Personal injury auto actions 4, fatal 0, property damage actions 29, for a total of 33 for the month. Summonses issued vehicle and traffic 61, parking violations 1. Total blotter entries handled 1,515 with a total of 11 arrests. Telephone calls handled 1,720. Overtime for payroll 25 and 26. Full-time and part-time officers is attached. Full-time dispatchers 0, part-time dispatchers 72 for the month. Police mileage 12,550 miles with a fuel consumption of 1,164.584 gallons. We've had no use of force reports for the month of December and no civilian complaints for the month of December.
Any questions for the chief? Thank you,
Thanks,
Chief.
Jared.
Okay.
Chief, you want to just address the vandalism that happened in the town of Marlborough? I think there was more than one case.
So over the weekend, the best we can narrow down was between Friday night and Saturday morning. An individual or several individuals traversed through the village, marking up a couple of political signs, one being attached to a house. They sprayed some symbols and slogans on them. They had they did that to 2 different houses, and they also spray painted the red cargo trailer that's owned by the Marlborough Fire Department, that's parked on Marlborough Fire Department property adjacent to the firehouse. Again, end fascism was the slogan that they painted on these signs, as well as the anarchist sign of an A in a circle. We are working on some leads. There are few leads. We are working on them. Anybody that can help us out, anybody that has video or knowledge of who or what they were doing, please give us a call at the police station.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you very much. We just don't tolerate that type of conduct in the town of Marlborough or any place. It's just, I mean, you could protest peacefully or you could do some, but you can't destroy people's property. We're not going to stand for that. So, moving on, Highway Superintendent, I could do that. If anybody else wants to do it, they could do it, but I'll start it off. Monthly report for December 2020, and this is from Highway Superintendent John Alongi. On July 10th, 2019, an incident occurred on 9W near our Highway Department building involving this is recognition. All right. Recognition on July 10, 2019, an accident occurred on 9W near our Highway Department building involving an oil delivery truck. The truck overturned and landed on its side. Fortunately, the crew in the Highway Department yard quickly responded and safely removed the driver and prevented a massive oil leak. Police Chief Kokoza submitted recommendations for the men to receive the yearly Police Chiefs Association of Ulster County Great Citizenship Heroism performed on 2019. On 12/16, they were presented with this award. On 12/22, Senator James Sousa also presented the men with the New York State Senate Liberty Award for exceptional valor and dedication on behalf of the people of the state of New York. Congratulations, John Alongi, Highway Superintendent, Gary Lazaroff, Deputy Highway Superintendent, Harry Freeborn, Foreman, and Don Frederick Mechanic, HMEO, who received these awards, and the entire highway crew. Roads, we continue our road patrols throughout the town. On 12/10 and 12/11, we dug out an embankment on Bingham Road at a blind corner, which improved sight distance. On 12/25, we had a storm that produced strong winds, and so we removed trees that fell onto the roads and also did many repairs to signs that were damaged with these winds. We spent several days doing cleanup. We also started our annual Christmas tree pickup. Drainage, on 12/8, we replaced the driveway pipe on Willow Tree Road. We cleaned ditch lines on Grand Street and Ridge Road. We cleaned pipe ends on Bailey's Gap. Brush and weeds, we sent flail mower out to mow back brush along the roads and guide rails. We spent the better part of the month removing leaves from all the ditch lines and catch basins. After this work was completed, the machinery used was serviced and stored. Shared service on 12/16, we assisted the town of Lloyd with their snow removal due to their loss of crew to COVID. On 12/22, we assisted the water department with a water main break on 9W and Mahoney Road. Used fuelage gas 329.438 gallons, diesel 176.424 gallons. Wow, that's a lot of diesel. Respectfully submitted, John Alongi. Charlie Maggio, would you like to do Charlie's, Scott?
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. Water Superintendent, Town of Marlborough, Charlie Maggio, 1/11/2021. A monthly report for December. Water consumption totaled 15.091 million gallons. which is a daily usage of 486,806 gallons, compared to last month was 16,505 million gallons, which is a daily usage of 550,160 gallons. Compared to a year ago, water consumption was 15.745 million gallons for the month, which is daily usage of 507,900,000 gallons. Summary for the month. Water mains, we had to repair an 8-inch water main and also a valve in Milton with the help of the Highway Department. Hydrants, clean snow around hydrants with the help of the Marlborough Fire Department. Valve boxes, we had to repair a valve box on Mahoney Road and Route 9W in Milton. Curb boxes, we had to repair a curb box on Old Indian Road. Service lines, we repaired a service line on South Street. Pressure pits, maintained and adjusted pressure valves and pressure pits in Marlborough and Milton. Closings 4, markouts 25, gallons of gas 125, diesel 0, mileage for the month 1,800 miles, respectively, Charlie Maggio.
Guess he has one for.
He has another one, yeah.
Yeah.
And the next one for Charlie Maggio is a summary of 2020. Water consumption totaled 194,339 million gallons for the year. Monthly usage was 16,194,600 million gallons of daily usage, 532,435 per day. Compared to 2019, our annual usage was 190.65 million gallons for the year. Monthly usage of 15,887,600 gallons for the daily usage of 522,331 per day. Water mains in 2020, we had 5 major water main breaks compared to 2019. We had 9. Hydrants in 2020, we had to repair 4 hydrants, 2 of which were hit by a motor vehicle. Compared to 2019, there were 9 repairs, 5 of which were hit by motor vehicles. Service lines, we had to repair 15 service lines compared to 2019, which we had repaired 23. Valves repaired 2 valves in 2020, and in 2019, we repaired 6. Sewer in 2020, we had 4 sewer backups calls compared to 6 in 2019. 2019 was way worse here.
Yeah.
Closing, we had 65 closings in 2020 and 65 closings in 2019, right on the button. Markouts, we had 425 in 2020 and 450 in 2019. And the report from Charlie Maggio.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Colleen?
Yes, the town clerk monthly report for December 2020. Burn permits, 1 for $65. Conservation fees, 2 for $5.57. Dog licenses, 11 for $55. Tow licenses, 5 for $1,250. Water services, 2 for $625. Transfer station permits, 13 for $625. Punch cards, 38 for $2,675. Building department fees, 1 for $18,871.44. Fire fees, 1 for $1,665. Accident reports, 16 for $80. Certified copies, 4 for $130. For a grand total of $26,047.01.
Thank you,
And,
Colleen. Any questions?
You're
for Colleen?
welcome. I just also want to let everybody know that we are collecting for the property taxes currently. And people are inquiring as if, to see if we are open to the public, because a lot of town halls aren't. So I just want to let everybody know that we are. And also I stay open the last 2 weeks every year of Saturday and Sunday to accommodate people that can't make it during regular business hours. So I just want to let everybody know that as well.
Well, thank you for doing that. And yeah, so we are open. Basically, we've been open for a while now, serving the community, but just to be aware that you have to wear your mask when you come in, you have to sign in. That's mandatory.
Yes, we let everybody
Sign
know
on
that.
Colleen's window, no mask, no service.
That's right.
We got to protect our
you.
people. Okay, so next is the water quality management. This is for the January 5th, 2021. For the month of December 2020, both the Marlborough and Milton wastewater treatment plants complied with all speedies requirements. The following are monthly statistics for both plants. The Marlborough wastewater treatment plant average daily flow is 130,000 gallons per day, about 74% of the design capacity. Average VOD removal is 96%. Average suspended solid removal is 92%. Milton wastewater treatment plant average daily flow is 31,000 gallons per day, about 56% of design capacity. Average VOD removal is 98%. Average suspended solid removal is 88%. Both the Marlborough and Milton plants operate normally during the month of December without any major changes. There were 2 separate storm events that resulted in high flows into the Marlborough treatment plant. The system was able to handle the high load without any permit violations. The Marlborough collection system seems to receive a significant higher amount of inflow and infiltration than the Milton collection system during storm events. This may be due to the age of the collection system or more residents using basement sub pumps within the town of Marlborough. Wind from the storm that occurred on the 24th of December ripped off large sections of Marlborough greenhouse plastic roof. There was no damage to the structure of the building, but insurance has been notified and hopefully will cover the damage. We have yet to receive any new information from Benaire Larios engineering firm on the dechlorination system for the Milton treatment plant. If you need any additional information, please do not hesitate to contact me. Stay safe and be healthy. And that's from Julian Falco. Yeah, we did let the insurance company know about the storm damage. They did come, so we're waiting on the results of that. And as far as the dechlorination, Dennis Larios did do an engineering analysis and drawing of the dechlorination system and sent them to DEC. So he's right on the mark. So we're ready to jump on that as soon as we get the okay. Town of Marlborough dog control, total number of calls were 15. Number of police calls from Marlborough Police and Ulster County Sheriff were 11. Number of open cases is 2. Number of stray dogs impounded and or seized is 0. Number of parent tickets issued is 0. We currently have 0 dogs in the kennel. There were no dog bites reported this month, and that's from Andrew McKee, our dog control officer. And we move now to the assessor's office. You want to take that, Scott, or you want me to?
I can do that, Sid. I can do that for you. I got
all
it
right,
out.
Ed.
Go ahead, Ed.
Okay, town board, Cindy Hilbert. We prepared 9 property tax estimates. We processed 40 real property transfers. We are continuing to work on collecting our new construction and verifying our sales data. There was a recent change in the state legislation that allows existing age exemption and disability exemption recipients to be automatically renewed for the 2021 calendar year using their 2018 income tax. The legislation is only effective for the 2021 assessment roll. All other exemptions must be filed no later than Monday, March 1st, 2021.
Thank you, Ed.
That's from Cindy Hilbert.
Thank you, Councilman Marinelli.
You're welcome. You still can't get my name right.
Marinelli. Come on, baby. So planning. Howard?
Planning Board review on December 2010. Agenda approval of stenographic minutes for 11/16/2020 was approved unanimously. First item was Twin Pond on 2007 Route 9W in Milton, final site plan. Project was granted a negative declaration, final approval by the unanimous decision. Second item was Nason subdivision, 89 Peach Lane in Marlborough sketch subdivision. At the applicant's request, the following item was asked to be removed from the agenda. However, the board did review technical comments provided by the town engineer and voted unanimously to act as lead agency for this unlisted action. Third item was Alden Carroll Link, 30 Green Tree Lane, Milton Sketch Subdivision. Board agreed to waive several technical requirements for this proposal, including the depiction of residential structures and topography in areas not slated for development. The public hearing will be held on January 4th, 2021. Next item was Hart Canosa lot line revision, 162 Old Indian Road, Milton Sketch lot line. After review was determined the newly proposed lot line revision does meet the current zoning requirements. The board agreed to refer the project to the ZBA by unanimous vote. Garino subdivision in Latin Town, Milton Sketch subdivision, the board voted unanimously to declare itself lead agency for the review of unlisted action. Ulster County Health Department and the Department of Public Works review is required and outstanding. A public hearing is on January 4th, 2021. And then discussion with our lawyer, Joe Ortega, Plattekill Road, Marlborough Brewery, sought advice on how to proceed with his plan for farm brewery at the above address. He was provided with the appropriate information on how to move forward. And then review of the site plan checklist. The board continued to work on revising the site plan checklist for applicants. Next deadline is Friday, December 11th. Next scheduled meeting is Monday, December 21st. Second meeting on December 21st. Attendees, all the board members were there. Agenda, HSC Milton Lot LLC, Dollar General, Route 9W, Milton Sketch Site Plan Lot Line. Project review by New York State DOT, Ulster County Health Department, Ulster County Planning Board remain outstanding. Clarification regarding the software runoff is required. The board again requested the applicant consider installing a sprinkler system and sidewalk. Board also reiterated its request that the applicant provide depiction of both lots. The board unanimously agreed to declare its intent to act as lead agency for this project. Then discussion with our lawyer, engineer, and stenographer. Joint discussion with town board. Members of the board discussed the planning board's approval process. And then a review of the site plan checklist. The board continued to work on revising the site plan checklist for applicants. Planning board members were asked to provide any feedback they may have before circulating the new checklist to the town board and town engineers, attorneys for review. Next deadline is Thursday, December 24th. Next scheduled meeting is Monday, January 4th. Respectfully submitted, Chris Brand, Chairman, Town of Marlborough Planning Board.
Thank you, Howard. Councilman Baker. Reported committees, Recreation Committee. I don't have anything.
Well, I could tell you the one thing that continues to happen again is Zumba classes are still continuing down at the Tomback building. And again, Patty is doing that free of charge. Also, I could tell you the batting cages are being used by a lot of local players and teams, and they're doing it responsibly with no more than 4 or 5 people with masks if they're not batting. And they've been doing it through our site that we created, and they're reserving their space, and it's been going very, very well. So, and again, that's free of charge. So again, we're giving something back to our community, and those two things have been working out very well through this pandemic. So,
Scott, have you been down to the area where we used to where the batting cage is?
Yeah, well, when Charlie brought in his machine that he wasn't supposed to bring back in there without telling anybody,
okay,
of course, you had a smell in there that lingered for a while. I called Charlie that night. He got it out the next morning.
Okay.
He was apologetic. I don't know why he brought the water department machinery in there again, but he did, and it lasted a night. But it was enough to make a kerosene type smell that Caddy had contacted us about, right?
Yeah, I went there that night, and I smelled the kerosene, and I didn't know where is it coming from.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe it was the big police vehicle. Maybe they took it out and started it up. But thank you for the explanation. Now I know where it was coming from.
Yep. When that machine was in there, it must have leaked a little something, and it lingered. So
yeah, she was concerned about things might because of the smell. It was so you know, it's really bad when I went
Oh,
down.
yeah. Yep.
But thanks for the explanation, and thanks for, yeah, that's great. And she's been great. She hasn't been charging anybody for all those Zoom
Nope.
lessons and courses, and yep, that's great. Thank you. I have no report on Emergency Management Preparedness Committee. CAC, I have no report. IT, I have no report. The only report I have, Scott, is that they put that monitor again on back order.
Oh, God. Man,
There's a lot of people like monitors with large monitors with the TVs and stuff, you know.
yep. Wow.
Milton Train Station, I don't have no report. Without Al, there's no Milton Landing Citizens Committee, but I have a statement from Gail Apper Jr. that I'll read later on. It's a correspondence. Marlborough Hamlet Economic Development, no report. Meet me in Marlborough. You have anything, Howard?
No,
No report. Hamlet and Milton Association without Alan's Tuck, no report. Transfer Station Review Committee,
nothing.
we signed the 5-year agreement
Yep.
with Kingston, Okra, right? So we're moving along. I saw Larry today. He says things are moving along. He asked for, I guess, a landline telephone. The one down there is gone, you know, not in use. It's hard to listen to people. So we just ordered from Amazon a wireless.
Are we ever gonna like, on that committee, Howard, just a question, is there anything gonna change that would justify keeping the committee looking into any alternatives? Or, I mean, that was what it was designed for, right? To look at an alternative to the transfer station, right? I mean,
Yeah.
are we still doing that?
Nope. We could bring it back up again. You mean in terms of garbage districts and so forth? Yeah, we have.
Yeah, I mean, since we just signed a 5-year contract, it looks like we decided to stay with what we got. I mean, not to say we can't ever change, but
We could always change it. We could drop the contract. We have that option. And no, we have, you know, we discussed it. I know New Paltz had a bad experience. We kind of dropped off after that. Doesn't mean that New Paltz still has a bad experience.
yeah.
Something we could look at, definitely.
I'm just asking, is it worth keeping the committee together, I guess? I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt, but
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
of committees if you look at.
yeah, I mean, it don't hurt, right?
No, it's
Stagnant because of maybe covert. I know the Economic Development Committee will try to get that going through
Right.
here. There's hardly anybody that was, you know, there's a lot of people that just are not doing anything, you know.
Yeah,
we do email each other occasionally when questions come up, Scott. So in that sense.
okay, yeah, that's good.
So
Just
then,
asking.
and basically you went through the fees and you didn't increase the fees for the
Nope.
transfer station, so that was a good thing.
Just trying to
Okay,
get through
thanks.
20, basically.
How about Howard and the chief, you have something on the police reform committee?
Yeah, I'll let the
Yeah,
chief go
me
first
too.
and then I'll comment. Go ahead, chief.
Chief?
Jerry, you there?
Working on it. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
We have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow. We're making progress. I did, the committee does not aware of it yet, either is Howard, that I did find some training information for the committee if they so wish to sit on it and watch it. It's all about the reform and the process. Of course, that's a little late, being as we're more than halfway through it, but at least they got something out there. Howard?
And well, Jerry's been busy just before Christmas, or between Christmas and New Year, released an email with about 14 attachments to it, which are sections of the police policies and procedures that he believes need to be updated based on the feedback we've gotten. He made those changes and it's out for the committee to review. We'll discuss that tomorrow on our Zoom call at 11 tomorrow. I expect, you know, we'll come to some agreement by the end of the month, certainly on what those changes are. So that piece will be done. And then we need to probably summarize all this in a report and then get it to the town board so you guys can review it. And certainly I would hope by end of February, we're pretty much got this behind us and then we submit it. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I don't, the changes that Jerry's proposing, I don't think they're,
Do they send you anything back to say, yep, we got your submission and we agree with it? Or do they send something back that they could say we disagree with it? Is there any guidelines on that, what they expect when you send it in?
they
Well-
expect that that the town board has done this work and agrees to it and has
Yeah, okay.
ratified it. So
I
what
don't think
happens
there's a
after that, I'm
rejection
not sure.
process.
Do you know, Jerry?
I don't think there's any type of rejection process.
Yeah.
They solely rely on the fact that the town board or the governing body has reviewed this and finds it acceptable. And they just keep it on file. I'm not
Okay.
really confident on how or where we actually have to send it to, but I will
We'll
start
find
that
that out.
phase
We'll
soon.
figure that out once we get close to it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I want to thank the chief and Howard for taking that on. That's a big responsibility. And Ed, thank you very much for doing that. It's something I think talking to other supervisors, I think we got a good jump on it compared to other towns. So we've been proactive as usual, you know, taking it serious and moving forward with this request from the government. And it's a good thing. It just, you know, we look at our stuff and say, oh yeah, this is good, this is bad. So it's a great opportunity to look at it all and get input from the community and from the committee members. And thank you for that. Going back to old business, I'm waiting for the contracts to pull the trigger on the Tom Vac rehabilitation update. We haven't done anything with the water and district improvement. The short-term rentals, I believe I'll have that within a week, so this way the board could look at it, review it with the building inspector to make sure this is what we're looking for. And I'll also have in hand the resolution to change the timeframe for the board members, the planning board members. The first draft I got, to be fully transparent, I really didn't like it. I don't think that because we changed the legislature that basically the people that are in the planning board won't have an opportunity for, say, like if we gave somebody 1 year and then they had a up for the let's say 2022, they had to go through the process. I didn't think it was fair that they would have to do that. So I looked at an old resolution that I did back in 2008. Maybe Ed will remember that, and Mickey, that you had to go through the process of advertising and go through that whole process. So I feel that basically, and see if the board will approve to waive that. So this way we get on keel with all the 5 years and then it's done with. So I'll send that resolution to these guys and you could make recommendations, or you could let me know what you feel about that. Short-term rentals will be coming soon too. I have no new business. Does anybody have any new business?
Nope.
On the correspondence, there's just one correspondence, and that was from the Friends of Milton Landing Park. And we know this, and it says, "Dear friends, we thank you for your continued support of the Milton Landing. The current pier project is an exciting addition to our waterfront park. With the news of the DOT and CSX approval for the crossing upgrade, our decade-long park development project is gaining serious momentum. The missing link in the park project is the desperate upgrade of the Sands Avenue Park. Currently, the street views sites as a rocky, industrial-looking hill site, with neighbors wondering for 11 years when the promised parkland will appear. The field has been filled and graded, ready to be made soft and green for passive enjoyment by the community. With the river views and plans for a walking path. The next step in the project is spreading topsoil and planting of seeds to make this multi-acre parcel fit the needs of the community. We ask that your board budget funds to cover the existing fill with appropriate soil to allow the park to become the soft, green, and lush park the community and neighbors have been waiting for. Thank you again for your continued support, and that's from Gail Appert Jr., President of Friends of Milton Landing Park. Unfortunately, we have a whole effort that we've been trying, and we tried CFA a couple of times, Howard, that's correct. You, Rosemary, and other people try to get monies for that park. It
Yep.
seemed like it wasn't a good fit for the CFA, for economic development. They look for job creation. So, and then we tried to get a grant for trees to put in there. So it hasn't been the lack of not trying. It's just been that things have not worked out where, we could do anything. Right now, we're getting some, I think what some of the neighbors are concerned about is we're getting some dirt from the project at the middle school. And John Lange, our highway superintendent, tells me that he plans on going down there with a sifter and getting all the crude stuff out of that and spreading the dirt. So this way it looks halfway decent. I don't, the budget for it is, we don't have a budget for it. But,
We don't have a budget for it.
we could
Doesn't mean we can't start trying to figure.
No,
out
we
how to-
can.
we
Absolutely.
can,
Yeah.
we can. I mean, I understand where everybody's coming from, but we're still going through this COVID virus, and I'm not using that as an excuse, but we're spending a lot of money down at the South Pier in Milton. We're also been involved with the grant for the Milton train station park, which is to the west of that hopefully we will accomplish this year. We have the funds, but those funds were created because of the highway department and going back and asking credit for that 50/50. I think we have maybe now in that fund $75,000 to $80,000 for that park. That being said, we still have a lot to do at that park. So I know things take time sometimes, but it's not a lack of not trying. So we'll look at this and see where we end. There's some people I'd like to talk to, see if they would donate some clean fill. We can move that way. I'll check again and see what we can do. I mean, it's not that the board is.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. It's not the lack of trying or the lack of wanting to do it. We all want to get this done. I mean, I think everybody's on board with that. It's just a matter of pulling in the resources and getting it done in the right way with the least expense we can to the taxpayers. But at some point, yeah, we might just have to bite the bullet, as Howard said, and budget for this and get it done. But right now, with COVID, it's a little tough to do that. We're still like, we're good in budget, but we just got to make sure we don't overextend ourselves. We got the project down going on with the pier right now, and we got to make sure we have that funded properly. And then once we get through that phase, I think the next phase obviously is the upper landing part. So we haven't forgot about it. Definitely never forgot about it.
And when the CFA comes available, we'll go back again for money down by close to the river park. But and as far as the tree grant, yeah, the DEC did not give us the tree grant again. So that was after 2 or 3 submissions. We came very close again. We always come close. Probably tell everybody that. But we have a really good plan laid out by Cindy Behan. So we know what we want to plant and where to plant it. So we could do that, take that plan and sort of implement it in stages, small stages. Maybe focus on the trees for that Sands Avenue Park first. And I don't know what it would cost, but we could chunk it up.
I think the big thing is getting the dirt in there, right?
Yeah.
The biggest thing is getting the fill. If we get the fill in there, then the next step is, we can start doing the trees and plantings, but we got to get that fill.
When we get the fill in there, our highway guys could probably certainly grade it and spread it, right?
Right.
So,
They're always willing to help, that's for sure.
yeah, they do, so.
Okay,
Things.
so that's the public, now that was correspondence. Is there anybody for any public comment? Yeah, Mickey Simonowski, you have to unmute. You're muted.
You're mute.
Can't
There
do
you
it on
go.
the little, you can't do it on the little picture. I just want to congratulate Al and the entire board for all of the successes. That was a great state of the town address, Al, and been very, very busy and so much has been accomplished. Thank you very much, just for everybody that lives here in this town. Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey, appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
So moving right along, we have just one resolution, gentlemen. That's resolution number 25 to accept donation. Supervisor Lanzetta proposes the following. Whereas Chestnut Petroleum is donating $2,500 for the South Pier at the Milton Landing Park. And whereas the donation policy adopted by the town board of the town of Marlborough on October the 10th, 2006 states all donations must be accepted by the town board. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Marlborough hereby accept said donation and moves for its adoption.
Councilman Corcoran,
Yes, and thank you.
Councilman Malinelli,
Yes.
Councilman King, Councilman Baker.
Yep, thank you very much. I was hoping that was a typo. It's not 25,000, is it?
It's 2,500.
You got it.
Supervisor Lanzetta.
Yes, and thank you, Mickey Jamal. Okay. I don't know what we're gonna do without
Oh,
Alan. but-
We don't have our-
You wanna give it a try there, Ed?
Yeah,
Closer.
I would like to make a suggestion to adjourn.
All right. That's a motion to adjourn. Any, need a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So
All right.
moved. Thank you, guys, and thank you, everybody, for that
Night.
beautiful picture. It
Night,
wasn't
everybody.
Expected, so
Thanks.
thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow, Howard
Bye-bye, Ed. See you
and
guys.
Chief.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.